2, drink water. Don't drink and drive.
Game over!
Take it light. Okay.
Now you're more fluent.
Mackinac, he's got 3!
Up, Bears. So this is really good right here. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Welcome back to Texas Rangers with the Boys. We are the Boys, your daily Texas Rangers podcast by a couple of pro wrestlers who love Rangers baseball. We want to thank you for making us the first listen of your day. This is your boy Kev, a.k.a. YBK, Kevin Frazier. Woo, man. That East Coast swing is swinging and missing right now for the Rangers. Tough L in Boston tonight or last night. And, Boston walks it off. Rangers bullpen looking mighty thin after Yates and Robertson. So some struggles from the bullpen tonight. Offense does what they can do on the road to try to keep the thing going. Corey Seager. We got some Jacob deGrom news, and we got some previews for the upcoming games against Boston. And we're going to tell you what we think needs to go right for this Rangers team to right the ship and win those 30 games. Right now, it's got to be – they got to finish 30-14, and right now we got to cross off one of those losses because now that's 13. I feel like if the Rangers hit 14 losses – like that's pretty close. We start getting close because Houston's not looking too bad. So anyways, this ain't about my takes on the team. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Don't forget to check out social media, TX Rangers WTV. Don't forget to check out the website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
It's all one word.
And joining me, my co-host, a 300-pound manimal, a.k.a. Bull. I'm at my 2-minute limit. So I'm going to let you tell them about where they can find us on YouTube. And I'm going to let them tell you that you tell them about social media and let you tell them about Matt War Pro and whatever else the heck else you want to talk about. Take it away.
All right. Well, if you want to find us on the YouTube, you look us up on the scroll bar, Texas Rangers with the Boys. It's on the Sports Fluent network over there on YouTube. And you know what? We've been enjoying doing the filming because, well, Kevin always says that we have made for radio faces, but he's really only speaking for himself. As you can see, I am perfect for the camera. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, you can find me on Twitter at ManimalBull, Instagram Manimal300, and both Facebook and TikTok at Bull Pro. Tough one today for the Rangers, man. I mean, they kept themselves in it. They fought back every time they fell down and had a chance to win it. A little tough luck for Garrison Garabito there in the bottom half of the 10th. I thought he threw a pretty good pitch there to get strike 3 on that 0-2 pitch. The umpire disagreed with me, the strike zone, the K-box, everybody in the stadium. So anyways, he disagreed, decided to give him another pitch. It's a double up the alley, gets the Red Sox in a position. I thought it was funny. Did you see the guy start skipping on that ball he hit up the middle into center field, and the guy had to wait for it to fall down? And he was like he had already started his walk-off skip, even though it was first and third with 1 out or whatever. Yeah, so interesting stuff there from Boston Red Sox player. I don't know who that was. It doesn't really matter. I know it wasn't Jaron Duran, that's for sure. He said one of those words you can't say, and he's going to get 2 games for that, I saw. So the Rangers won't see him in the lineup until, Wednesday night at 5:10. But he got caught on the hot mic there at the home plate saying a little something you can't say at a big league ballpark on a hot mic for sure. And so he's gonna have to sit around for a couple of days and think about it. But overall, man, what a good effort from the Rangers. Just didn't happen. I got to tell you real quick before we get the show started. Matt War Pro 2-year anniversary, October 18th. That's a Friday night at the Martin House Brewing Company over on Sylvania in Fort Worth, 121 in Sylvania over there, right on the banks of the Trinity River. Come on out. It's going to be a beautiful night. It'll be October. We'll finally have some of those nice nights that we dream about in August, because let's be real honest, it is still 90 plus degrees when we're doing this taping, well past 10 p.m. at night. So, we look forward to nights like that. So come on out October 18th. It's going to be a big time. Matt Warpro's second anniversary show. It's going to be a 4-way dog collar match in the main event. Damo McCullough, Brick Savage, and the Dantes, Dante Leone and Dante Smiley. So the 4 men are going to enter. One of those guys will come out with the Trinity River Heritage title. Our friends at Starry's Ice Cream will be there as always. They will have food on site. As I know more about it, I'll let you know about it. But big show Friday, October 18th at the South Side. Oh, whoa. Martin House Brewing Company on the east side of Fort Worth. So back to you, Kev. Let's start talking about maybe Jake DeGrom.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything that can make us feel better, it's Jacob DeGrom's first pitch. Rumors everywhere, but rumor has it that Jacob DeGrom's first pitch was 99 miles an hour. Wish I could say I'm surprised by that. I am not. It's Jacob DeGrom. I mean, what are we?
Yeah, I thought I would. That was the question I was going to ask you. Are you surprised that Jake DeGrom's out there dropping 99 in his first pitch to live batters on Monday afternoon? Probably not. No, not me. I know it's not his first pitch back. He threw to live batters last week. Hopefully, maybe even as early as Saturday, we might see a Jake DeGrom rehab. Not sure. I don't know. But 5 days from now would be Saturday. So I don't know. You may see him at Round Rock or Frisco throwing a rehab as early as then. So who knows? Hopefully so. I mean, if it's anything like what we saw from Tyler Mahle tonight when DeGrom gets back, you're starting to think, man, I mean, the rotation, sure, it's rough. I mean, you got some holes right now, but you're feeling good about Mahle and DeGrom at the top of it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Mahle, it's like he came back better than when he left, to be honest.
Well, and I don't know. I still think you're going to get added velocity from Mahle at some point as he gets back into things, and you're going to see more like 94, 95 instead of 92 to 94. And I also think that you're going to start seeing that splitter getting more range as he feels more comfortable throwing it with his surgically repaired elbow. So Tyler Mahle, man, I'm really impressed with what he's brought to the table these first couple of starts. And both of those starts have been against good Red Sox teams, and he's kept the range. I think he's given up a couple of earned in both of those, something like that. So, the impressions are good for Mahle in his first couple of starts back, and hopefully, as we get DeGrom back here, you see that same kind of thing from him. And there's no reason to believe that you won't, because, I mean, he's a freak. He's, he's the truest definition of just a freak. And here he is back throwing 99 coming off the shoot. And, I mean, when asked about it earlier, Travis Jankowski was like, I mean, he looked like Cy Young, a two-time Cy Young Award winner. Honestly, think about it. If Jake DeGrom could have been healthy more than 2 years, he'd have more than 2 Cy Youngs.
Like, he didn't look like a Cy Young winner. He looked like Cy Young.
Yeah. Like, probably Cy Young would watch him and be like, whoa, maybe they should name the award after him.
What kind of magic is he using?
Yeah, where'd he get that arm?
What are they doing in the future to these guys?
One of the most exciting things to me is that there's a good chance that the Rangers could have real top-of-the-line velocity in the rotation next year with Jake DeGrom, Kumar Rocker, and Jack Leiter. Because there's top-level velocity. I mean, Leiter's a step below DeGrom and Rocker. moment.
I mean, Teodo's also
Teodo as well, because he throws 101 on that two-seamer, and so there's some real top level. And don't forget that right behind him, Winston Santos is yakking it in there at 97, 98 as well. So the Rangers have got a lot of good live young arms, and one of the best veteran live arms in all of baseball history, let alone just baseball. So so there's exciting things on the horizon. I know it's not super exciting to think about two rookies in the rotation next year or whatever. And maybe that won't be the case. I mean, we don't know exactly what the Rangers game plan going into the offseason is. We don't know what things are going to be like, because we still haven't heard anything on a TV deal. We haven't heard anything about what the Rangers are planning to do on that. So, here in a couple of months, when we start talking postseason or off season, and we're into our 3 weeks instead of 4 weeks, we'll be talking about who knows what the Rangers are going to be doing until we get some word on those things with the TV deal and where the Rangers are at. But as far as attendance and everything like that this year, I haven't been to, or at least mostly packed out. Bottom deck for sure.
Hold on a second. Let's talk about something about the stadium. All right, watching the Boston game tonight. All right, I was in it. I was in it intensely from the 7th inning through the 10th inning, through the walk-off hit. I didn't hear one time choo 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 choo, like super loud. I didn't hear like I didn't hear any of that, not at all in the Boston game. You know what I heard? Either quiet or "Let's go Red Sox" from the fans.
Yeah.
That's all I heard. So I don't know. It's not a trend that the Rangers are picking up from big market, selling out every night club, because Boston is the best baseball town probably in Major League Baseball.
Well, especially considering Boston has one of the smaller stadiums,
right,
and they have one of the bigger fan bases, so it's full every night.
Yep.
They may, attendance-wise, it may not be the highest because the Dodgers have this stadium that holds 70,000 almost, and they're not going to be able to put as many people in. But Boston, they went on a tremendous run that lasted for a long while, where they sold Fenway out every night for 10, 12, 15 years.
Yep.
And no one's going to Fenway Park to hear a DJ play music. Nobody wants to hear Rihanna when you've got a couple of seconds in between a 1-2 count.
No, I don't want to hear S&M from Rihanna in the middle when it's 2-1 in the middle, the bottom of the third, with a 3-2 score, and the Rangers are leading like nothing's happening, and we're going to play some loud
I don't
Rihanna
think,
song.
Look, I get it that you may need things to entertain. That's why you've got kids parks and stuff like that in the stadium. But at the end of the day, it may not have been as bad in the Houston game as it was in the minor league game that we went to, but it was still entirely too much. I'm cool with the organ. I love the organ.
Sure.
But the music and the DJ playing, like, hey, I'm cool with walk-up songs. Have your walk-up song. That's just fine. But, we don't need music in between every pitch. We don't need any of that stuff. Let's get the organ is great. A dun-ta-dun-ta-dun-ta-dun-ta-dun-ta-dun-ta-dun-ta-dun is fine. Whatever. But, we don't need the music. Baseball is 100% a talking sport. People that are going there to watch baseball games aren't going there they're going there to talk to their people, because it's a slow game where they can pay attention and also keep up a conversation with people that they haven't seen in 3 or 4 years that they're at the ball game with. So I agree 100%. And I think that Boston has done a great job forever. I've never noticed that whenever I go to games in St. Louis or Detroit or Cincinnati or anywhere like that. It's the first time I've really noticed it was this year at the ballpark.
Yeah,
And it's not enticing to people that really love the game of baseball at all.
yeah. It's just one of those things where I'm just like, what are we trying to like? It's not like you expect that when you go to a Mavericks game. I mean, I don't
Of
necessarily
course,
like
yeah.
it. I don't necessarily like it, but
But
at the same time, I expect it.
but yeah, you expected, and when you were in Miami and you were going to Heat games, it was the same thing. When you watch them playing in Minnesota, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, it's the same thing in every stadium. It's not like and it's not like baseball. Whenever you've got a downtime in basketball, sure, play some music and stuff like that. But baseball, you got downtime every couple of seconds because you've
Yes.
got 15, 16, 17 seconds in between each pitch. But I do not need music at that time.
So this was a fun soapbox. I just thought it was really funny that when when I was watching the game, I'm like, man, this sounds like a very fun, peaceful game to go to where you can like cheer and get into the game the way you want to get into it and not be prodded. Like even at the Mavericks games, it can be a little much where it's like, look, we don't have to chant defense every single time they're on defense. It's like
Yes, you do. That's actually true.
big
It's
possessions,
yeah, you know what? I really dig the college scene much better in basketball with the kids chanting and having fun, and
Yeah.
especially places like Cameron and the assembly halls in the Midwest and places like that, like Indiana, Illinois. Some of those big time ball yards where they all the kids are there, they're having fun. They got their own nicknames for everybody. I
Mhm.
mean, Big Ten, ACC basketball. I think that's the funnest atmosphere for basketball instead of the NBA where it's like gimmick, gimmick, gimmick. Oh, we're in a timeout. Send somebody out there with some hula hoops and fire or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like, I don't need all that gimmick. I mean, I get it. We spent a bunch of money on these tickets, but we spent it on there for the sport, not for the guy that's balancing something on his nose while he's on a unicycle
One's
juggling
on
fire.
fire.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
let's give the people what we told them we'd give them. We told you guys yesterday that we would talk about what it would take to right the ship. Now, obviously tonight, I'll be real with you though, Bull. Like the last 3 games, they've had a lot of fight in them. Like I hope they don't get discouraged. I mean, they're grown men and making a ton of money. There's really no reason they should, but it's still human beings, and they're playing against other millionaires as well. So it's not like they're the only people with something to play for. Everybody does, but I guess my kind of thought is just that we want to kind of discuss about like what do the Rangers need to do to right the ship. I feel like they are doing one of the major things they need to do, and that's score some runs. We're looking at 20 runs for this team in the last 3 games. That's probably one of the best stretches we've seen all year. I know 4 runs wasn't enough to win the game tonight, but they fought back. Every chance they got, they fought back. And really tonight it was like the 2023 Rangers. It was the bullpen that really
they
just
ran out of bullets, right? Because
yeah.
the bullpen was good when you had Robertson and Yates and things were going okay. And then they kind of ran out of bullets there in the 10th inning. I thought Garabito, I mean, I don't think he threw bad. I didn't think he really threw bad. The first one was he shouldn't have even thrown that pitch that got hit up the alley that was over Tavares's head, which man, a good effort there. He almost came up with that ball running.
Yeah, he did
75 feet on that. So, but anyways, that pitch should have never been out. He should have already been out, had one out, no runner movement, and pitching, from ahead instead of from behind. But it didn't work out that way. And when we're talking about like what the Rangers need, like I think the first thing that they needed they needed something like today where they, saw something good happen instead of something bad happen. Like you get that run across there, you come down, you get a shutout inning right there from Garabito or whatever, and you win that ball game. You're feeling good about today. You're feeling like, hey, we scored some runs against the Yankees on Saturday. We came back Sunday afternoon and worked our way back into a game that we didn't really have any business being in. And then Monday, after falling behind a couple of times, come back and get an extra inning win over Boston. And even though you're looking at 2-1, and we're talking about cutting one of those games off of the 30, but it didn't happen tonight, and but I still think that the things that have to happen for the Rangers is just to see some of those things that have been going bad for them go good. And
yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with that. I think for one, I think one thing that has to go right is they've got to continue to get good starting pitching. Like they're going to have to continue to do that because really, if you're going to be good at any point in Major League Baseball, you've got to have your starters going 5 innings, 6 innings these days. I think you got to have the bullpen. You got to improve. Still got to improve 6, 7, 6 and 7. And really, in some ways, like it can't just be a 2-man show at the back end of the bullpen. What I think they really need is they need more consistency from Leclerc and from Chafin. If those guys can start pitching well, now you've got 4 guys that can work through multiple series that can help you at the end of games if you start winning. If you start winning these games and you're rolling out, and again, Garabito was fine, but like you're rolling out, some of these guys at the back end, you're vulnerable.
Real quick, I want to apologize to Matt Festa.
Right. Yeah.
Because he wasn't real good Sunday. I kind of buried him a little bit, but Monday night he came in after Chafin couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a bowling ball. He came in and kind of worked that thing out and kept it from getting too far out of hand, and then worked him another clean inning behind it. So, good job by Festa there in the 5th, and then another, in the 6th as well. So anyway, that he was about their best. He wasn't bad as a bullpen hand today. Robertson, he worked 2 innings, gave up a couple of hits. Yates came in, closed it down.
Whoa. We're not covering the game.
Oh, yeah, God. What? I'm way ahead of myself there.
We're talking about what the Rangers.
Yeah, you brought in. You started bringing up bullpen, and I want to talk about
I just
it,
think they've got a good sturdy at the back end. Now that's what I think they need: good starting pitching. I think Leclerc and Chafin have to step up.
Yeah.
And then obviously Yates and Chafin have to stay where they're at. That's pitching wise. If they can do all that, it can mitigate any negative that they get from the weaker side of their bullpen because everybody has that.
Well, and I think getting healthy a little bit too wouldn't hurt. Maybe having John Gray back. We talked about DeGrom earlier, but like having John Gray back, hoping that Eovaldi isn't anything more than just one start. Getting guys like Urena and maybe even Heaney to the bullpen to where you're shored up a little bit back there. Yeah. But Pennington and Garabito, no offense to those guys, they're probably not exactly what you're looking for when you're in a jam and you're up 4-3 and you're trying to win a ball game in the 10th inning. It probably isn't real exciting for Bruce Bochy. It looked like he was drinking some sort of weird magic elixir.
He was drinking the gin and juice.
Oh, was that what that was? It looked like it was like green or something like it.
Yeah, he was sipping on that gin and juice. That's what that was. He was trying to get through the ball game without getting his nerves worked. Well, okay, now we agree on the pitching side. And I actually think what you said is great because if you get Urena, if you have the ability to use Dunning, Urena, and John
Heaney.
Gray in a bullpen.
Or John Gray, yeah. Heaney or Gray, whichever one moves to the bullpen, yeah.
Yeah, but if you've got those guys as like depth pieces, that's huge, man. Like that is huge because I'll take my chances with those guys.
And I'm sorry, I said Heaney. I meant Bradford. I'm sorry.
Bradford too? These are all
pieces. He's kind of worked himself into a spot where maybe he just is a starting pitcher in the big leagues.
I think he's much better as a starter. But all right, let's hop over to the offensive side of the ball. Or I'm sorry, the position players. Okay, this one is simple. Like this is simple. All that has to happen, because the lineup is about as healthy as it's going to get. All that has to happen is these guys have to hit the way they can.
Yeah, every one of these guys needs to get on a heater for a month and a half. And I mean, and let's see, like, I'm not saying that like that's out of the realm of
No,
possibility, because let's be honest, every one of them has underperformed all season. And even the guys that we love, like Seager and Simeon, they've still underperformed what they did last season. They underperformed what they did even the season before that in their first season here. So now Seager has turned it on recently, and you can't keep him in the ballpark, which is nice. But he's got to have some other guys on there. We need to get Adolis Garcia getting some slug back in his game. You got to get something from Jonah Heim, which tonight wasn't, I mean, he scored a run, got on base, getting, the WRC is, those runs created, his weighted runs created. I mean, he's one of the worst players in baseball with that number, and he's too good of a player to be one of the worst run creators in baseball. He's just too good of a player. So he's got to figure something out. But there's no reason to believe that these guys can't hit. They can't put something together. We've seen some runs scored in these last couple of games. Now it's just about sustaining it and being able to find something that works to get the Rangers in a position to score a handful of runs every night and give themselves a chance in the late innings.
So if Marcus Semien just bats like his normal, like just his normal 260, 350, 475, and Adolis Garcia is slugging somewhere around 490 and hitting 240, Leody Tavares is hitting 250, 255,
even 240, even 240,
420, 430. I'm just saying, like, they're just normal stuff. Jonah Heim's batting 255, like slugging 450, like just their normal, like what they like their norm, even Heim, even 420. And Josh Young, I mean, if they were just doing their normal, not even get their best ever or any of that, they were just normal, this team would score 5-6 runs a game. Like they would, there's no doubt. So it's like the problem is not that it's that they're not even like close to their, like even their averages in some ways when you look at what they've done over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you think, Adolis Garcia last year was somewhere in the 850s with his on-base plus slug. This year it is right now at 673.
70, okay.
So almost 200 points lower than what it was. Last year, Corey Seager was somewhere around 1,000 most of the season with his ops. This year, he's at 862, which is still a good ops, don't get me wrong, but it's, 150 points down from where it was last year.
Yep.
Marcus Semien, 714 right now. Last year, it was well over 8 for most of the season. Josh Smith, his ops now is sitting at 787. It was well over 800 all season. And he's kind of gone into a spot where he's just not been the same player that he was early in the season. And now, now while he's down, you got to have other people step up, and we'll just kind of wait and see. But yeah, I mean, there's the potential is there. The players are there. We know that these guys are good players. We know that Jonah Heim's a good player. We know Adolis Garcia is a good player. Now it's about those guys putting something together to put themselves in a position to help this team win ball games. And, as much as we saw that almost weekly last year, we haven't seen it at all this year from especially those two guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we kind of agree on what I think we kind of all know what the Rangers need to do. It's not super complicated. And that's what I think. Another thing that might help, and I know this is a stretch, but I mean, if we're rolling out Garabito and whatever his name is, and Fella or whatever his name is,
these are like Pennington.
Yeah, these guys are just like, I mean, we've got some arms. We got some arms, man. We got some guys that we think that we were probably going to see next year. And I don't know if Garabito and some of these guys are going to be on the 40-man roster. Maybe these guys are going to be on the 40-man roster next year. Why not bring a couple of these flamethrowers up from the farm and give them a crack at it, because
and
it's going to be much worse than.
Don't think that it may not be on the agenda, on the horizon. September 1st is on its way, so they'll have a chance to put a couple more guys on the roster. I hate the fact, I liked it back when you could pull up as many guys as you wanted on your 40-man during September, and you just have a whole dugout full of guys that looked like they were 18 years old. And
Love it.
Yeah, I miss those times where you could just pull up the whole 40-man if you wanted to. I missed that. I thought that was a fun part of the year, especially for, Ranger fans. How many years did we have down in a row back in the day whenever, we can go back to the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but, like 2001 through 2007, 8. Think about all those. It was exciting to see some of those prospects come up because not much else had been exciting about the season. So at least for most of the part, we get pretty decent Ranger baseball every night these days. So
we sure do,
for the most part.
But, a couple of those names, we brought them up earlier. It'd be cool to see Teodo or Kumar Rocker come up.
Or see Leiter maybe throw out of the bullpen and
something
get some
like that.
Situations. Yeah. No, absolutely. There's lots of things. Do I think the Rangers are going to win 30 games of their next 44? No. But I think there's a possibility. I think they're still, I still think they're a competitive baseball team, and maybe, just seeing a couple of things go right a couple of nights in a row could change the whole demeanor of the whole ball club. But, I'm not expecting it. But you know how it is. Look, this team won a championship last year. For a lot of us, we've been waiting on this thing our whole lives. So, it's hard to repeat. Of course, I would have loved it. Of course, I wanted them to. Of course. That's a million times yes. But at the same time, I know how hard it is to repeat. I know how hard it is to win just one watching the Rangers these last several years. But if they don't, it's not going to be the end of the world for me this year. But next year, it's going to be a little bit more serious at this time if things aren't going as well.
Well, I was trying to have a smooth segue into our Down on the Farm with the boys.
Kumar Rocker, Jack Leiter.
There you go. If you have not checked out our exclusive content, I'm telling you, a lot of people have, because we've been picking up some subscribers over the last couple of weeks. And I guess it's because the Rangers people you still love your team. You just want to have something.
You want something positive.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's not as much exciting on the field there's not as much on the field to get excited about. At least you can get excited about this farm and some of these live young arms that the Rangers are projecting to have make their major league debuts next year, as early as next year. And if you want to hear us talk about them, you just got to go to our website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
All one word.
Or you can check us out on Spotify. It's just $1.99 a month. You make us your one-stop shop for all things Rangers organization-wide. I'm telling you, right now we're doing our top 40 prospects in the organization. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of info. You're getting to know a lot of the players that maybe you didn't get to know a lot about. But if you've been listening to this show all year, a lot of these names are familiar to you. You know the names. A lot of the usual names, a lot of the usual faces, but some of them that you might not know because of the draft that just happened. So go check it out. You won't regret it. Down on the Farm with the Boys. Become our next farmhand.
And this is one of those shows, too, because of the top 10 format that we do. It isn't really like you have to keep up on a weekly basis. You can go back and kind of binge listen to some of them, because a couple of weeks ago, before we did the 40-man or the top 40 prospect list, we also did where we went over all 20 rounds of the draft for the Texas Rangers and gave you as much information as we had on those guys. We also, that top 10, sure, we're looking at the numbers that they put up that week or whatever, but we're also talking about those young kids, so you have an idea of who is putting it together in the farm system and who, may be on their way out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's talk about this game. Rangers back and forth with Boston. It was just one of those things. Tyler Mahle was really, really good and really showing some positive signs against a really good hitting Boston team. And really kind of the highlight in some ways, the offense and the fighting back with the offense was great. And I would say it's definitely a talking point, but Tyler Mahle in his first two starts back off the IL has been really, really good and really nothing to complain about with him.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to complain about with Tyler Mahle. I think he's been fantastic. 7 Ks tonight. That's a big number at 4 2/3. Yeah, he's got himself to 92. He's stretched out to 100 now for sure. And we'll probably just continue to see him expand that to 100, right? 100, 105, somewhere in that area. But yeah, overall, pretty good 4 2/3 from Mahle. He did load the bases there one time and ended up giving up 1 run on a sac fly there, and then Chafin walked in. One of those guys that he put in there. Yeah, no, Chafin was not. The fact that he only gave up 2, like the one inherited and the one of his, really good job by Festa, because, I was worried about, when he went to Festa, I was like, oh, goodness, what's going to happen? But Good job from him to work out of that bases loaded jam there, and then worked himself a nice clean inning the next inning. And then Robertson, they tried to get 2 innings from him. It didn't quite work out. Yates comes on, cleans 1 inning, and then gets him another full inning. And that's where the Rangers kind of ran into a problem, because they were kind of out. Leclerc wasn't available. They've already used everybody that they had. And, man, it ended up being Garrison Garabito. That first batter that he faced, that was a trash call from Mike Estabrook. Mike Estabrook, known awful umpire. He's one of those guys that when you pull up his behind the plate score, he's one of those guys that every night it's going to be like 80% strike called right. He opens up one side, closes down the other, doesn't call up and down. He's not a very good umpire, in my opinion. He missed quite a few calls last night, and that strike 3 that he missed in the bottom of the 10th, that's unacceptable in that situation, that a ball that's 3/4 of the way in the strike zone at the knees, right down the middle of the plate, doesn't get a call. Garabito got a little bit of a rough deal there. Gave up a little bloop single there that ended up getting him ran. Pennington tried to work through things. He got a ground ball to Simeon. They couldn't quite turn it right there. And the next batter got himself up in the air, out into the outfield there at Fenway, and hit that gap, and the Red Sox walk it off. But I thought the Rangers, man, the effort was there. Seager has been carrying this thing on his back, man. He's been as good as you could ask anybody to be. And I thought, Tavares, he had a 104 mile an hour opposite field hit there. He got a walk, stole a base, scored a run. Thought he had a pretty good game. Heim was on base a couple of times with a walk and a hit by pitch. Langford's in the midst of a struggle right now. Young, he seems to have a hit every night. He's keeping that, keeping up with that. Nate Lowe struggled tonight. Garcia did have 1 hit in his 5 plate appearances.
That's 8 hits over his last 4 games.
4 games, yeah, 4 games, something like that.
Yeah, he had 7.
3 or 4.
7 over the Yankees, 7 hits against the Yankees.
Yeah,
so you go 7 plus 1. I think in most math realms, that's 8.
Yeah, absolutely it is. But Seager's really been the big story, man. He hits his 26th home run off of Horn. It was no doubter once he hit it. He knew it was
look, if y'all aren't gonna play good, I still got a Hall of Fame ticket I gotta punch.
Yeah, so. I'm trying to put together 500 home runs and 3,000 hits, y'all. So get out the way, So but yeah, overall, not
go ahead and keep
great.
Getting me up to. I got to at least get 4 at bats at night, guys. At least 4.
Yeah, tonight 5 for him.
He got 5. He got 5.
Hits,
He's happy. Got him
Yeah, I
a
mean, he's
walk.
up that OPS to 862. I mean, it was sitting about 800 at the All-Star break. So, yeah, he's been pumping those numbers up, and looks like he's going to have no problem getting to that threshold of 31 home runs that he's hitting his first 2 seasons here. He's got 5 to make it for the rest of the. This is a pretty good effort considering he started the season. What, he had 1 home run in the first month and a
He
half
was
of the
rough.
season.
He was rough.
Yeah, so Corey Seager's really turned it on. The Rangers lose. You got anything you want to add on that?
No, wait, hold on. Let me see. No, not really. I talked about Molly. That was about the
highlight, yeah.
that and the fact that Boston doesn't play loud music the whole game. I honestly don't hate Garabito. I really don't.
No.
I feel like I don't. And I don't know if we really know who Pennington is because I mean the Cats
He's been
really
put
only
in some
been in
trash
the
situations.
worst situations you can put him in. But yeah, I mean Chafin, man, has not been as advertised. I don't think he's happy with himself at all. So I don't think he's okay with it. So Rangers, Rangers, honestly, we talked about what they need to do. And I really like what you said. I think this team just needs a few things to freaking go their way. A few breaks. I mean, even just
see it happen a couple nights in a row.
Just about talking about the umpire situation, just stuff like that is so frustrating when you're struggling and you need a break and you just can't get one. So let's hope they can get a break. Hope things turn it around.
Put the finishing on it. I'll put the finishers on it here. Winkowski gets the win. He's 3-1 with a 3.35 ERA. Garabito takes the loss. He's 0-1 with a 3.75 ERA. Rangers, man, they fall to 55-64, 9 games under 500. That's probably the most games they've been under 500 since the end of the season in 2022. So, I mean, you want to start seeing something.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Boch's. I think the 78 wins was his worst team in between World Series champs. I think that was when he in between the second and the third one, they were, I think, a 468 winning percentage in between. But why don't we talk about these pitchers? Because I know we know who's going tomorrow, but who's going on Wednesday?
Well, Jose Ureno will go tomorrow, and so we'll kind of see, or tonight actually, we'll see what he brings to the table. If they have to get to the bullpen early, they're probably going to be looking at using Dunning out of the bullpen. So we'll see on Wednesday. You may end up seeing a spot start on Wednesday night, especially with them having Thursday right behind it. No Nate Eovaldi to pick up that spot. So Wednesday will probably be either Dunning or a spot start from maybe Jack Leiter or Owen White maybe. Those are the 2 guys on the 40-man that you could really see possibly being that. But yeah, we'll be back Thursday morning to talk about all of it.
Man, and
we'll see Hawk and Cutter. We saw Cutter Crawford and Tanner Hawk. We saw both of those guys last week.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Well, we'll be off tomorrow, and unless something wild and crazy happens, as always. But let's hope these Rangers turn it around, get a couple here, steal a couple in Boston, and steal a series, and let's get back on path for those 30 wins that we need to get to get this thing turned around and get ourselves into the playoffs and give us a chance with Molly and DeGrom, hopefully at the top of that rotation, maybe a healthy Eovaldi. I'll take my chances with those 3 guys with Yates and Robertson at the back of the bullpen. So
you just got to find a way to sneak in.
Let's get in there. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We're still feeling optimistic. We still love this team, and we still got baseball. Right now,
take advantage of it. It's running out quick, right?
I'm gonna say, man, we're gonna even if we go and win the World Series again, there's gonna be the day after where we don't have a box score, we don't have anything we don't have a game, and so let's enjoy it no matter what. Support this team, man. Like these guys are playing their hearts out for you. Go show some love. Get out to the ball yard. Go buy some merch. Watch the ball games, get the ratings, and let's chill out on the social medias with this team. give these guys a little bit of love. These guys are giving it their all, and we love the Rangers and we love baseball. We're just glad to have it. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget to check out social media, TX Rangers WTV. Don't forget to check out the website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
All one word.
On there, you can check out our exclusive content, Down on the Farm with the Boys. We cover all things Rangers minor league. You can also listen to the podcast right there on the website. It posts every single time we post. And you can check us out right here on YouTube on the Sports Fluent Network. Just go into the search bar, type Texas Rangers with the Boys. We will pop up in our made-for-radio faces, or at least mine, and hair and beards will be on video for you. On demand, if you will. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in for the 300-pound manimal. This is your boy, Kev. We are Texas Rangers with the Boys. We're signing out.